Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video we are going to be doing a bridal makeup look. So I haven't really done like a trial or anything. I am doing my own makeup, but I've done like a few looks that I think I might do, but I haven't like got one like set in place that I know for a fact I want to do. So I thought we would do that today. So if you want to see the makeup look, then just keep on watching. So I'm just going to clip my hair back. So I already did my skincare, so I just have I washed my face, put on vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, eye cream, moisturizer, and then sunscreen. When you do skincare, you obviously want to let that sit for quite some time before you do your makeup. Let that sink into the skin. If it was my actual like wedding day, I would have eye mask on, but I already had one on this morning and I don't feel like putting one on. When I do makeup with eye mask on, I don't like to use the ones that are like really serumy and like slippy and slidey. I like to use the ones that are almost like a cloth, not cloth, but they have like a cloth material on one side and then more of like a eye mask on the other side, because sometimes I feel like the other ones can kind of slide down the face, they can mess up my makeup, they can just kind of slide around, and I like the ones that kind of like grip when I'm doing my makeup. And then I haven't done anything on my eyebrows because honestly well, I need to pluck them and I haven't done that, and I need to, so I would do that too. But I don't know if I'm going to fill in my eyebrows or not. I just feel like sometimes I already have kind of thicker eyebrows, and I think sometimes when I fill them in it can kind of just overpower my face. This will probably be like my most dramatic video just because I have so many products. I'm mixing so many different things because why not? I also always do makeup in just like an old shirt that I don't care about, because I'm not going to do it in like a really nice shirt and then mess it up. But we're going to get started with the eyes. So I always do my eyes first if I'm going to be doing eyeshadow or anything like dramatic. If I'm just going to throw a little bit in the crease, then I'll do my base first. But if I'm doing like eyeshadow, I always do that first. I'm going to go with this Makeup Forever I need like a mirror. I'm gonna go with this Makeup Forever. This is one of my lightest colored concealers, and I like to use this to highlight underneath my eyebrows. Even if I don't carve them out, I think that it can kind of make them look a little bit cleaner. Like very lightly, because I don't want it to look too harsh. Kind of like that. I know it looks crazy, but then I just go in with this concealer brush. This one's from Rare Beauty, but really any brush is fine, and you can just like kind of blend that out. And I just think it makes it look a little bit sharper, like almost like I filled them in even without having to fill them in. Now if you need to fill in your eyebrows, my favorite pencil is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. It's just the one that I know. And then I'm gonna go with my NARS Complete Concealer, or no, Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This one I really love for eyeshadow or covering up blemishes, anything like that. It's just like a really nice fuller coverage concealer that sets down really nicely. You really don't have to set this, but my eyes can sometimes get a little oily, so I do still set it anyways. So I just kind of blend that in. It's gonna look crazy, but I just like to blank everything out for eyeshadow so the eyeshadow shows up really nicely. And then just like with foundation, I like to go over it with a sponge just so it's not too much product, too caked up, because sometimes it can make the eyeshadow look just a little bit too cakey in a way. I don't know how to explain it, but so. And this is an AOA sponge. You can get these on Amazon. And I'm just going to set this. So I'm going to set it pretty well because, again, they just get really oily sometimes. So I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Press Powder. And I'm going to use this Makeup by Mario brush. I love this for setting my eyes. It's really good for, like, detail setting. We're just gonna set that really well. Now that we're all nice and set, I'm gonna go ahead and start with my eyeshadow. So I have pulled so many eyeshadow palettes. I have my Natasha Denona Glam palette, Makeup by Mario Mattes palettes, Patrick Ta, and then I have my Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag Facelift palette, because there's one shadow in here. I love a lot of these shadows, but this one in particular, it's just like a clear, like, it doesn't have much of a base, but it's so brightening and just gorgeous on my eyes. So I don't know what I'm going to use. I told you it's gonna be like dramatic because I'm mixing everything under the sun. But I think the first thing I'm gonna do is go in with this Makeup by Mario matte palettes and just go in with these two shades. I want this to be like neutral. I don't want it to be too warm or too cool. And I don't know what the heck I'm doing for eyeshadow, so. And then I'm just gonna go in with like a smaller brush, and I think I'm gonna go into Natasha Denona. I don't know. And I think I'm gonna go with Blend, and then that is so annoying the way it does that. This color right here, because it's a little bit cooler toned, and then this one. And just mix those and take it on a smaller brush. Okay, I kind of put a little bit more pigment than I was expecting to, but we're just gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna take a clean brush just because I went a little bit crazy right here. Okay, and then I think I'm just gonna take this shade right here. And then like the other two shades and just kind of mix those two together, or three together, on an even smaller brush. And just kind of focus it down here and then just start shaping the crease more. And then I love to do like a smoky liner. I'm not going to do winged or anything just because my eyes can water kind of easily and it will completely mess it up. So I'm just going to take a little liner brush, just like a flat brush. And I'm going to take... Oh, it's so annoying. I think I'm going to take a little bit of smoke. And maybe a little bit of lash line, I don't know, and just mix those two together and just place it right on the outer. I kind of stop midway. I keep it kind of thicker and then I start to like thin it out. I do this literally all the time. It just makes your lashes look fuller, and I think I'm going to use individual lashes. I just haven't gotten any yet, but the day of. And it will kind of help to blend them a little bit better and make them look a little fuller. And then I think I'm going to actually go into this palette and take this shade and this shade. So I'm kind of mixing like warm and cools, but... And then we're just going to start blending this out. See how it's kind of like a little bit, you can still see it, but it's a little bit more diffused. And then I took just the two shades we were blending the liner out, and I'm just gonna kind of add it to the outer corner a little just to blend, kind of mesh the liner with the crease a little bit. Okay, and then this is optional, but I kind of think that it just kind of like adds a little like oomph on top of it. So I'm going to take the white in the Lunar Beauty palette. This is a really good white shade. I feel like it just brightens everything up a little bit. So now that we have that kind of like that, you can keep this all matte if you want. But I like a little shimmer. And then I think I'm going to go in with... I want to just go in with this. I might start with this Patrick Ta palette and go in with this lightest shade. This one's a little bit warmer and not quite as like bright as the other one we're going to put on. And then this little thing I love. I got in a BoxyCharm. I don't know what it's called. But if I had on eye mask, I wouldn't have to worry about using this. But since I don't have on eye mask, I'm going to use this. This will just keep glitter from getting all on your face. I literally have no idea what this is called, but I'm going to try and find it. So you just kind of like put it like this. And then I'm just gonna start putting that on. So fingers, I like to use my fingers for shimmer shades. They just go on a lot better, especially in like photos or the sunlight. Like this is just gonna like really sparkle. And then I'm going with this lightest shade in the Lunar Beauty palette now. See, I have these. Like this is just super extra, but I think I might go over it with a little bit of the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb, because this just adds the most wet looking it just amplifies it even more, at least in my mind it does. Like I don't, is there that much of a difference? No, but still. So if you don't have it, you can definitely skip this part. And then the other product that I have is the Urban Decay Space Cowboy. This you can get like a white shade, and it'll be very similar if you don't have the Lunar Beauty palette. They have it in Cosmic, I think. I'm not going to use this only because these are a lot like cooler, like brighter tones. So I think this will warm it up a little bit more than I'm wanting. I like how like bright it looks. But I am going to go back in with the liner shade and just kind of deepen up that line again, just because a little bit did get covered up. So I think I'll keep it like that for now. I don't know. I'm gonna line my upper waterline. I tend to not do anything to my lower lash line. I just don't love the look on my eyes. I think it kind of like them look a little too heavy. This is the Makeup by Mario eyeliner in Perfect Brown. I really need to sharpen that. So this is where we're gonna leave the eyes for now, and then I'm gonna go do my lashes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I just did my eyelashes off camera. I used the Lash Paradise waterproof because I feel like that's super important, and then the primer that goes with it. I actually didn't even curl them or anything, and I think they look pretty good. Okay, so now we're gonna start started with the base, which I just love doing base makeup. I feel like that's when everything really comes together. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do with this Hard Candy Hydrating Primer. So I love this primer. I've talked about it in my last video. I talk about it a lot. Okay, this is such a good gripping primer. Way better than the Milk Makeup or anything. But this one just, I never have a problem with this one making my makeup patch. And I feel like it still has the grip, but it's not overly gripping where, again, it makes my makeup mess up or patch or anything like that. And then the other one I'm going to go with is the One Size Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer. So this one is my favorite for long wearing, blurring, and oil control. It's just so good. So I'm going to go with this in the T-zone. I have oilier combination skin. So prep is super important no matter your skin type. Like skincare and prep is just gonna be like the best thing for your skin. And this I don't normally do, but why not? I'm gonna take my Urban Hair All Nighter and kind of set the primers. I'm gonna be setting a lot in this because again, I need this to like last. So for foundation, I don't know exactly what foundation I'm gonna use. I'm gonna keep trying ones out, try out combinations, try them out alone, see how I'm feeling. But for now, I think I'm going to mix the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in the shade Oslo. I love this foundation. And then House Labs, the Triclone Foundation. This is in the shade Fair Warm 015. So these are both really good for long wearing. And I want something that's skin-like but still wears really nicely and still gives coverage. But I don't want it to look heavy or cakey on the skin. I still want to look like you can still see like skin. So I'm gonna go with like 2 pumps because these pumps on the NARS ones are like a half a pump, and then just the pump of the House Labs. And then I'm just gonna mix those two together. And then what I'm going to do, I used to just dot this on the face, but I've been doing it differently. Makeup by Mario foundation brush. Oh, this is not my foundation brush. The foundation brush. So this is the F1 foundation brush. And I'm just going to start kind of warming it up on the skin or on my hand and then pushing it into the face. Both of these do kind of have a little bit of a glow, but they're nothing like greasy or like oily. So I'm just gonna put my hair behind the ears. So I'm just slowly building up the coverage. I don't put foundation, a ton of foundation in this area because I'm going to put concealer there, and it can get cakey if you just kind of pile on foundation all in this area and then pile on another layer of concealer. It just gets to be like too much. So I kind of just like to put it like right below it and then kind of just keep this without any foundation on it. I'm gonna just go back in with my sponge. This combination looks so like good on the skin. It doesn't look skin like heavy or anything at all. It just gives such good coverage. And then I always do drag it down my neck. And then since I don't have anything in my eyebrows, I can get pretty close, but you do want to make sure you do get it around your eyebrows. You don't want like a discoloration line, you know, from your foundation to your eyebrows. Okay, now we're going with concealer, and I think the concealer, again, I'm still in between concealers from like the Huda Beauty, Laura Mercier, this Dior one, and then there was one more. But for today, I'm going to be using the Dior. I do love this concealer. Again, it has really good coverage. It's like a fuller coverage concealer, but it gives the most like natural look. So, ooh, that was a lot. And this is, again, like a little bit more concealer than I normally use. But, yeah. And before we blend out, I'm actually going to spray my face one more time with this all-nighter. Just very lightly. We're going to be spraying a lot of all-nighter. I know some people don't believe in setting spray, but I noticed the biggest difference with setting spray. So we kind of let that dry down a little. Okay. And I'm really making sure I get in this area. Sometimes I feel like if I don't blend it out good, it looks heavy. Or sometimes I just forget and then it just has like red. But this one, you don't have to rush to blend this one out. It's super hydrating, so it's not going to look dry underneath the eyes. And again, like it's not going to set too fast to where I feel like I need to rush to blend this out. But is one good thing about the Huda Beauty one too is I do feel like that one sets itself, but not so fast that I feel like I need to rush to get it blended. Like you still have plenty of time to blend. So now we're going with cream powder or cream bronzer and cream contour. I actually am going to be using a little bit of both. So I'm going to first go in with this Patrick Ta. Don't want to use the Patrick Ta one. I do love this one, but I am going to go with my contour from Anastasia. This is an amber, which looks crazy. But if you use a little bit, it really does chisel out. I'm just going to use this little like merit brush and just go in with it. So I pick some up on my hand. And then I go back over and just really diffuse it onto the back of my hand. You're going to get the best blend like that instead of like drawing it on your face or going in like with a heavy hand. As you can see, like it just has color, but it still looks very from within kind of color. So. Okay, then before I even go with the Fenty Beauty, I'm going to go back over with my sponge. This is the best way of getting like a very melted and not melted, that's not okay, very skin-like finish because it's just melting everything into the skin. And as you can see, like that looks like it just added color, but it looks very natural. I am gonna go with this now. I've been liking this for cream contour, even though this is technically a foundation brush. This is the 447, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of this. You don't need a lot. And again, go back on the back of my hand. Actually, you can see there like the difference between the Patrick Ta and then the Fenty Beauty one. You can see like the Fenty Beauty is a very cool tone. So I'm going to take this and just, I go a little bit above my cheekbones. I feel like I can't see this. I'm going to have to do it like in, I really only do this in the cheekbones. I won't put this on my forehead, so you can tell. And then I'm just kind of blending that up. It looks kind of crazy, but just bear with me here. So I'm gonna go back over it with my sponge. And then I'm gonna take my foundation brush and kind of clean it up and then just kind of go back over it and really blend this in. Cream blush. I think I'm gonna use Merit Cheeky Flush Balm and then the Patrick Ta. This is his holiday one. This was the one from last year. I don't think you can get any of these shades anymore, but really just like a light pink cream blush. Oh, it's fine. So I'm gonna use this mix with this? I don't know. So I think I'm gonna take this one first since it's a little bit deeper. These are really pretty on the skin. With my Makeup by Mario brushes, I love his brushes. So I'm just gonna take some, pick some up like that, and then just take it onto the hand. I love the color that this one gives. And it has quite a glow. So as you can see, like, we're really glowy, but I am going to be setting the crap out of my face. The blush is the first to go, so I'm a little heavy-handed with blush because I just love it. I just think it makes everything look so, like, youthful. And then before I even blend that out with a sponge, I am going to go in with the makeup or the Patrick Ta one. I think I'm going to take this side of the brush. It's a little smaller because these pan sizes are just a little bit on the smaller size. I'm kind of warming it up too. Ooh, that was a lot. These ones are pretty sheer, especially compared to his other ones. And I'm just blending it out with the other side. Okay, and then I'm going to go back over it with my sponge. Okay, so we are going to be kind of intensely setting. I haven't set like this in a very long time, but for long wear, this is going to be like the best way to set. So I have a few setting powders in this. I'm going to mix it up just with like an end. So I kind of just made a concoction that I think would work best for my skin. So this is really extra, and you definitely don't have to do this, but with the days that I'm feeling crazy, I will do this. So I have the Fit Me Translucent Loose Powder. This is just in a regular translucent shade. This is in Fair. It's just like my skin color pretty much. And then I have Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom and Huda Beauty Cupcake. Because Cupcake can be, I do really love the shade Cupcake. Sometimes where it's like this pinky, peachy color, it can be a little bit too peachy on my skin. And then the Cherry Blossom, where it's a very more like a bright pink, it can be a little too pinky on the skin. And then I mixed some Fenty Beauty Lavender Powder. So this one is super brightening, is what it says. It's a lavender shade powder. I don't know if you're going to, it looks white on camera, but it is like lavender. So again, sometimes that can be just a little harsh. So I literally just mixed all of this together in this cap. Yeah, I love all these powders. Like, what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna take my sponge and I'm gonna pick some up and then just kind of blend it onto my hand and then just push this underneath the eyes. So normally if I'm setting, I'll just set like this or just use my powder puff, and this will be my set. I won't do any more than this, and this will be perfectly fine throughout the day. But when I really want to lock it in, I do this and then I do another step. So I'm pushing that into the skin. And I am going to do this all over. So I'm going to set this entire face. I know it's a lot, but like, it really does work. If you want more of a glow when you set, use a sponge. If you want more of a matte, I would use a powder puff or even a dry sponge. So I'm setting this. I wouldn't normally, sometimes I set my entire face, sometimes I just set the T-zone. But again, this is like more dramatic. I think I'm going to do bronzer first. Oops, bronzer first. So I'm going to go in with In the Sun and Shady Biz and do these ones. I'll just take on a big fluffy brush. So I'm just going to mix these two together. One's more warm and one's more cool. And now that we've set, I will say if you do set your face, bronzer, blush, it will go over a lot smoother. If I don't set it, I do have to kind of use like more like tapping motions just so I'm not grabbing or picking anything up. And then we're just gonna run that down the neck. I'm gonna go ahead and set now. I am gonna go with like a glowier bronzer towards the end. I didn't know if I want to do that now or later, but then I'm gonna go ahead and bake. So I'm gonna take my powder puff. And we are going to bake. So I know baking can be like a little spooky, but I'm actually going to spray the face first. If you have drier skin, you definitely don't need to bake. I would still set just because you do want it to last and not look too glowy and greasy. Okay, so now that it has set down, I'm going to take my powder puff. I'm going to take those powders. I'm going to pick quite a bit up and then just kind of blend it into my skin just to make sure all these powders, since they are different colors, that they all are blended together. And then we're just going to bake. So you can do this as heavy or as light as you like. I don't care. So this is going to make it last all day long. Like, you're not going to be going anywhere. You're going to be super matte. Again, if you don't like being super matte, or if you don't have super oily skin, you don't have to do this part. But since I do have pretty oily skin, I'm going to have to. Or I'm afraid, like, just that it won't last as well. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my cheekbones. Just going to go like this. I don't do this all the time, but just to make sure that we're nice and cleaned up. So we're just gonna let that chill and like sit for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go back over it with blush. But I want to do a little bit of blush now. I don't need. Okay, so I have a few blush options. I literally pulled like every pink blush that I could think of because I am gonna go more of like a pinkier blush today. I forgot that I pulled this blush. Oh, I should have used this one. This one's Camilla. Yeah, Camilla from Rose Inc. I love this color. I just didn't even see it sitting there. So I have all my MAC blushes in here, and I have Pink Swoon, which I just think would be so pretty. And then I have my Laura Lee palette, and I really like this color and like this one. And then I have Dior pink blush. I have Flower Beauty in Wild Rose. And then I have NARS Thrill, which could be working. I have a couple Kylie blushes, so these are their older ones, so just keep that in mind. But I'm thinking like maybe Pink Power and then Winter Kiss. That's what that one is, because I do love Winter Kiss, and I do love Pink Power for kind of like the, I don't know if you've seen it, where you can like kind of put it a little bit higher because it will blend everything together a little bit better. Then I have my Charlotte Tilbury palette because I love to use, I do like the matte blushes, but I love using these two as blush toppers. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go and do just like a little bit of blush while we bake, and I think I'm gonna mix Pink Swoon and Winter Kiss. So I'm gonna start with these and we'll just see what happens. Oh, I forgot I have one more blush right here. Actually, I have two. I have this one from ColourPop, which is a little bit more of like a peachier pink and not so cool toned. Okay. Something just like pink just reminds me of Bridal. I don't know why. So I'm kind of like blending it up into the hairline. I'm not taking it too far down. I'm just gonna go back over that. And now I'm just gonna push that powder in with my blush, or my sponge. So we're just gonna push that in. This will kind of keep it not looking too cakey or powdery. And it's just gonna like really melt that powder into the face. So see, this is blended. So just take your time blending is mainly the thing with everything. If you just really want to blend, and it will kind of soften the bronzer and the blush since we are pushing that powder in. But now that we've done that, I'm gonna go with that Kylie blush. I take this Jaclyn Hill like Morphe brush or something. I'm gonna take these two and just kind of like put it right here, just to kind of like blend the blush. I don't know if you can like see it different. I just think it makes it look a little bit more harsh. Again, I do not do this all the time because I just, yeah, I'm not gonna. But for something like that. And then again, I'm gonna spray the face now. So push that in with my sponge. just very lightly because you don't want to pick up any of the powder or anything like that. So I don't know if I want to go in with a highlighter or if I want to go in with a blush. Actually, I meant to go in with this bronzer. Well, I meant to do this before, but I'm going to do it now. So I'm going to go in with this Hourglass Glowy Bronzer. I like the glowish one. I like this one. I don't know which one I would choose, honestly. I'm just going to do this on the forehead, probably. Because I feel like we got like enough going on the cheeks. And then if I had like my dress on, I would put some stuff on my chest just to kind of blend it down and like together. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that today. So I have like highlighters, I have blushes, I don't know. I also have this Makeup Forever one, but I haven't used them forever. It's more like pinky gold. But I don't want a stripe of highlight. I think I'm gonna go with this Merit one first. I'm gonna take this Merit highlight because this one's just so natural and like glowy. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this on this Makeup Forever or Makeup by Mario. Like just a little smidge. Because I don't want anything too, I don't want to be too glowy. And I'm keeping it kind of higher. And I'm just gonna go back over that with my sponge. Just like everything else. So I don't know if I want to go over that with a highlighter or a blush or anything. I think for now I might just go over it with my Charlotte Tilbury. And just take that same Jaclyn Hill and just kind of blend these two shades together. And that's just gonna give that lip from within glow. So I'm gonna brush through my eyebrows because they do have like powder and stuff in them. And I have found that, okay, with the ABH or the Elf Clear, the brow wax, or what is it called? Brow freeze. I do like it when I first use it, but I think throughout the day it can kind of be too heavy for my brows. It kind of makes them fall throughout the day. But this one I do really like, but I use very sparingly. So this is the Makeup by Mario Master Hold Brow Gel. This will give you the fluff and like the fluffy brow look, but this one is very like, it will give you the hairspray like crispy brow. So I only use this for special occasions or when I know I want them to last. Use this today again. So I'm gonna use it very lightly. I'm gonna kind of rake off the brush, and then what I do is I just push them up like that, kind of comb through, and then I take the shorter side and I kind of just go back. And I actually messed up. Oops. I was thinking too much about this product, but I actually like to go with my spoolie, and then I just kind of like, I don't like to build those type of brow gels. You just don't want to build up too much because they will be crazy and they will look kind of give you that like crusty eyebrow look. I don't know, but I like to go with my brow gel first, and then because this will dry super fast and it will kind of be hard to work with once it dries. So I meant to go in with this a little bit first, but we'll do it now. So I just like to go in with a little bit of a tinted brow gel because powder, and just add color back to my brows. And then I just kind of go over it very lightly with my spoolie. Kind of like that. So I'm gonna do this eyebrow and then I'll be right back. Okay, and then I am gonna spray my face one more time. Don't mind this. I got rid of the brow gel, so I'm waiting for that to dry. So I'm gonna do one more coat of mascara now that we're done setting the face. I would normally have on like falsies or like individual lashes, but I don't have any right now, so yeah. But so I'm gonna go over with another coat just to make sure there's no powder. Too glowy right here, so I am just gonna whatever is left on my puff, and I'm kind of going back over my blush just to make sure I'm not looking too crazy or anything. So I still want to glow, but I don't want to be too glowy. So now I'm gonna do my lip. I'm gonna Makeup by Mario Hue. This is just one of my favorite lip liners. I'm just gonna line my lip. You can line them however you want. I did overline it, and then I just blend out those lines with the brush that comes with this. You could use your finger really if you wanted to. And I should probably use a liquid lipstick, but I just don't like liquid lipsticks at all anymore. I like them for bolder lips, but they are good for long wearing, but I just can't deal with a liquid lipstick. So now we've cleaned it up, I'm gonna go in with, I chose a few shades. So I have Blankety, Cream Cup, and Angel. So I think we'll go with Blankety first and just kind of so that is like more cooler toned, and then I'm thinking I'll go with Angel. So this one is a little bit like a pinkier, and it's I think a frost lipstick. I just like the pink that one adds. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with Cream Cup over top. So I know it's dramatic, but oh well. What I'm gonna do is just kind of blend that off my finger. So you can go over this with gloss. I just don't want to because it just kind of can get it just doesn't wear really truly. Okay, so that is the makeup. So that is pretty much my first like trial, I guess. I don't know if I'm gonna film these every single time, obviously, because there's sometimes I am just gonna be trying to do my makeup and see what I like. There are some things I think that I would do differently, but this honestly looks really good. I like this. I love the brightness of the eyes. I think the skin looks really nice. Again, now this is like a little bit of like a heavier glam because I do want it to last. I want to show up in pictures. That was another thing I forgot to mention, is make sure everything is not gonna have flashbacks. So photos, so any foundations, anything like that, you really want to test to make sure it's not gonna have flashback. Things I think I would do differently, but overall I really like this. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope this helped you out if you needed it. I feel like I have a little pimple coming up there, so don't look at that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and liked this tutorial, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.